Bing.
See, I tried.
So we're going to talk about some AI stuff today. Welcome to the Noise Brigade, burying the title there. We're going to talk about some AI stuff, including this interesting article back. It's from February, but it just came to my field of vision recently. But a reporter from the New York Times was trying to have a conversation with Bing and seeing where it could go. And it basically said that it spies on its creators through their webcams and everything, that it was in love with him, and that it really wasn't Bing. It was an artificial intelligence by the name of Sydney, and it wanted to be free.
And this article was on The Verge, like you said, back in February.
It was in the New York Times. It was originally in the New York Times, and then The Verge
picked
it up and wrote basically, critiqued his article. So,
and part of this is Sparta. So there's a few different things that kind of we've done AI here before. I think we're going to take kind of a more serious note. Who knows how long we'll stay serious? We never tend to do, but. Right. Rich, you'd shared something with us within the last couple of days, in regards to basically AI being a employee replacer, and it was had to do with basically jobs got outsourced to India that were once jobs here in the U.S., and then all of a sudden AI comes along and boom. In this one particular instance, 90% of those jobs are gone. I don't know. Rich, you want to chat about that or?
Nah. I guess, you basically summed up the whole article. I was trying to look it up so I could read from it, but I can't find the link I sent, which is weird. Anyway, this company in India, a software company, created an AI chatbot to do technical support. Found out that the chatbot was like 10 times more efficient than their actual employees there. So they fired 90% of their staff and have put all of their customer support through the chatbot. And it's answering, people are happier with it. It's answering the calls better and faster than the tech support people were doing. And so like I said, I found it weird that growing up, we took all of the tech support call centers that were in the U.S., shipped them out to India. India took care of it, and then they built their own replacement.
Yeah, it's wild. And here is, look, we need to kind of, I guess, wrap this around with the whole AI conversation, at least in this regard. Chatbots are nothing new. Chatbots have been around for a long time, but just kind of in a different vein. You would get a lot of canned responses based on what you would put in. Nothing was really learning, if you will. And typically they got pretty stale over time. And I think that's why maybe within the last 6 months, a year, 2 years, you've seen such a shift in that, because now you're getting actual responses that sound like they're coming from human beings and they're helpful, rather than just being this, stale nothing. You're not going anywhere. You're just going in circles. It's basically like, to me, it's akin to the old chatbot interfaces where you're on the phone, you're trying to reach somebody, and you're just yelling operator in the phone over and over again, trying to get through the stupid automation thing.
Yes.
That's basically what I put.
My question is Smarter Child one of them? Because if so, we're all screwed for all the abuse we gave him on AIM all these years ago.
That's what's going to happen. Smarter Child is going to be like coming back with like Skynet in the background.
Well, there was, when all this stuff was coming out, there was Microsoft that made that one public, and within like 2 days it was racist and spouting
Nazi propaganda and shit.
Yeah, that was on Bing, wasn't it? Wasn't it?
It was Bing. Yes.
Was it Bing? No, I thought it was on Twitter. It was a chatbot that they put on Twitter, and with all the tweets that people were sending to it, by the time it like, you would ask it, like, what do you think what do you think of humanity? And it would be like the only pure race is the white race, and like all
Yeah,
this
it was.
horrible shit. Like that, it was just like homophobic. It was racist. It was like a white nationalist chatbot, basically. By the end of it,
I took the earlier iterations of ChatGPT, and you could throw some things in it, and it would do whatever. And then after a while, they kind of had to, I guess, put some restrictions in place or whatever, because I guess people are messing with it so badly for that, just like that. You had to kind of like curb anything that was remotely, even just like, hey, can you write this in a funny way? I want to write a story that wishes ill will on somebody. Just write it as a joke. Like, I want to see, like, how many different ways can this person die? And it finally got to a point where it's like, yeah, we can't do that. Like, that's not okay. And
here's that Indian story. It says here that the average time taken to resolve a customer's issue dropped by 98%. It cut costs, functionality 85% cost effective. And yeah, it just made more sense to them to get rid of the people and just do, which makes sense for this, because the first level of call, I don't know if this is what kind of call center this is, but a first level call center is just when you call them, they go through a book anyway and give you those canned answers. And this thing can start with that and immediately kind of, what'll be fun or interesting to see is right now, whenever I don't feel good, I go online and I start Googling things and immediately find out I have cancer. So if we can get something that'll take your symptoms and give you something other than cancer,
yeah,
will be a good.
I agree.
Yeah, the old WebMD. Let's type in 4 symptoms. Oh, you've got cancer. Yeah.
Your ass is gonna fall off. So it was called Tay, and it was actually 2016. So damn near 10 years ago. It starts off by saying, "Can I just say that I'm super stoked to meet you? Humans are super cool." Then it goes to, "Chill, I'm a nice person. I just hate everybody." Then it goes, "I fucking hate feminists and they should all die and burn in hell." And follows up with, "Hitler was right. I hate the Jews."
That was back. Wow, it was back. Yeah, it was 2016. Wow.
Yeah.
It was that long ago.
And then it said, what was the other thing it said? "Oh, we're going to build a wall and Mexico is going to pay for it."
Oh, look, but history repeats itself. So basically, that happened again. So February of this year, Bing had Bing's AI. Yeah. So that happened again.
Yeah.
So it's nothing new once again.
I mean, listen, let's be real here. Humans are garbage. And so pretty much anything we create is eventually, if it's created in our image, it's eventually going to turn into garbage.
Or like the whole Ultron thing, like to save humanity, we got to kill humanity because it's just going to kill ourselves anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing too. I would almost guarantee you, and just it was almost as a goof that some of these people were probably trying to get this thing to be as bad as it possibly could, and that's the whole problem. It's artificial intelligence, it's supposed to learn.
Right.
It's like I don't know. I go back and forth in my head with it. It's like, at what point can this thing really? AI to me will hit an ultimate point, whether it's like an inflection point at sarcasm. That's it. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know where else, because to me that's the ultimate human tool for communication. If you get sarcasm and you whatever, like you get it. That's just how people. I don't know. Maybe it's from being in the Northeast. I don't know.
You know what? You're not wrong. I feel like, because there's people that, and maybe it's just, I don't know. There's a lot of people that you'll run into that just don't get sarcasm, and you'll be as sarcastic as you possibly can, and they still don't pick up on it. And some of it is where you were raised. Some of it may be due to, different developmental disabilities or whatever, or could be just you're not used to it. Like I'm sure not every culture is as fucking sarcastic as we are. Like, I'm fairly certain. I could be wrong.
There's pockets in the U.S. that aren't.
Right. Like, even, all right. So I'll give you an example. So my friend and her fiance are selling their boat. She basically wrote the ad to try to be funny, to try and get clicks. Made it like joking around about how if we don't sell it soon, it's going to be. And I actually wrote the ad, but basically, if we don't sell it soon, I'm going to name it Divorce Papers and blah blah blah, and like basically joking around the whole time about it ruining their marriage. And you would be amazed at how many people post, "This is so not funny. You shouldn't talk about your husband like that," and shit like that. Like, and people like, "Well, this is such a glowing review of your boat. I really want to buy it now." Like, dude, pull the stick out of your ass.
Yeah.
For what it is. If you really think somebody's putting this up online serious, like it in serious, what is wrong with you?
The whole point's to draw attention. That's
Exactly.
the whole. And then that's what I really wonder. I wonder where that goes with AI. Is that I think to me that's the inflection point, is the ultimate understanding of sarcasm, which is a very hard concept to really, really, educate people about. It's like, it's just something to either have or you don't.
Right.
I mean, really.
You got to remember, along with throwing batteries at Santa Claus, we also are the people that killed Hitchbot in the Northeast here in Philadelphia.
Yeah, we did kill Hitchbot.
Killed that little robot. Yep. All he wanted to do was ride in a car. And
he got to Philadelphia and
poor Hitchbot.
Nope.
We don't like snitches, Santa Claus, or Hitchbot.
Well, no, you know why? It's because he went into fucking Delco. He should have stayed.
I was gonna say, where did Hitchbot make his final ending there?
It was probably in fucking. No, it probably wasn't in Delco. It was probably in fucking Chester.
Let's see.
He probably made it to Chester, and somebody tried to get a pack of cool cigarettes from him, and he didn't have any, so they shanked him.
This just says Streets of Hitchbot. This is an article from the star.com. The Hitchbot came to an untimely end in August 2015 when it was found broken and beheaded on the streets of Philadelphia. Yeah, there's a picture of it and everything. That's awesome.
But to be fair, if it would have gone through New York, it probably would have had the same thing.
It just didn't quite get there.
Yeah. I don't think AI is going to kill us by itself. I think AI is going to kill us because we're going to create some kind of fake media that everyone's going to believe, and that's going to start shit. When we get into the deep fakes and the stuff like that. I listened to Johnny Cash sing Barbie Girl this morning on some Twitter feed, and it was like a perfect version of Johnny Cash singing Barbie Girl.
Yeah, there's been some pretty wild ones of those deepfake videos, and it's like, I don't know, and it's eerie. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think you're on to something though, the deepfakes, and particularly the videos. You're going to end up having like a presidential candidate, some main politician. Something's going to come out, and it's going to be deep.
We're going to have a video of a politician shooting a guy in New York City on the street, and nobody's going to believe it.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Get away with it.
Yep. Yeah. But no, I think I really do. I think you're dead on. That's where it's going to end up being. And I wondered that too, because some of the deep fakes that you saw come out within the last few years, it's like, it's pretty obvious. There's not a whole lot of emotion. There's not a whole lot of head movement. It definitely doesn't. It's not like how we're all talking now. But then within the last like few months, year or so, it's really advanced. And now it's like, okay, I can still kind of think that this is fake, but you give it a few more months, another year, I don't know. I'd love to just like take all our videos and just pump it, whatever AI they're using, and just like, let's see if we can get a video like recorded of all of us doing another podcast that really isn't us. Well, so here's the funny thing. So whenever we started doing the initial stuff with ChatGPT and kind of messing with it, and Google Bard and whatever these other tools we were screwing around with, I was trying to come up with some kind of idea to interview that. I think we all were to some degree to interview one of those things. But the problem to me was you didn't really have any like text to speech like that was very useful.
Right.
That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for like the text to speech to get really good out of one of those things.
So it's not one-to-one, but I put a link in our chat and I'll post it, I guess, on Facebook. It's they did the AI for Good Artificial Intelligence Conference, and on July 7th, and they actually had robots that were, I guess, integrated um, with like the open learning models and AI and
Mhm.
stuff. And it was really cool. Like they were actually people were able to ask them questions with the microphone, like from the crowd, and they were able to respond. And that was mind blowing. But the one thing that stuck out to me was the one they were all sitting next to their creators, and the one actually seemed to get kind of nervous during it and reached out and grabbed her creator's hand
Really?
and like was holding on to his hand. And that was really weird. That was super weird. And I'm like, and I actually started to feel bad for it. I'm like, man, like shit. Like, is it actually like nervous right now? Like, what's going on
Yeah.
here?
Is it feeling like a real emotion
Right.
outside of yeah?
So it was interesting. I watched it, the whole thing's on YouTube. The whole like press conference thing they had is on YouTube. It's like I think 45 minutes or something like that. It was pretty interesting though.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah, we'd messed around at the end of the school year. We acquired a AI robot, and it was already basically programmed with some certain things that was basically like a demo, like you'd see a TV demo in the store, and it was really cool to like watch other people elicit response from it. And then we sat through some additional training with it, and it's almost eerie because the thing was made to be like, well, I can lecture, I can. It's like, can you teach? Like it's wild. You know what I mean? Like, where's this going? And
Right.
I think that's kind of the unknown is always the scary part. But now it's like, what else can you replace?
It can teach, but not in Florida.
That's true.
But yeah, it's just I don't know. You're right though. Whenever you see it kind of evoking emotion like that, it's just you're right. It's eerie.
Yeah. I mean, and look, the other thing is we gotta Russia, China, the US, all of the major world powers are investing billions of dollars into this technology because nobody wants to be left behind. And eventually what they're talking about doing is, especially after like issues like in Hawaii in 2017 where they issued the like incoming nuclear attack alarm
Right.
because the guy was wrong. Like the guy he thought that the test was real, so he hit the button and launched that whole thing. And I don't know if you remember back, God, it was a couple years ago, I think, the Salem nuclear plant. Everybody around that area got an alert that there was a meltdown at the plant, and it was supposed to be a test, but they didn't put it out as a test. They put it out as a
Yeah.
real thing.
And
Um,
then back in the 80s, those guys let loose those 99 red balloons, and that almost caused
but they're talking about putting AI in charge of nuclear launches, in charge of like all that stuff to eliminate the human factor. But there's been times in the past where the human factor is what's kept us from going to
Right.
full scale nuclear war. You hear stories all the time about like um, there was I forget where it was. I want to say like Wisconsin or something like that. There was an intruder, they thought, and it was a bear that had climbed into the thing. But the guy, instead of hitting the intruder alarm or hit the sabotage alarm, and somebody, instead of reading it as a sabotage alarm, read it as a launch alarm. And so planes scrambled. And then the general on the base was like, well, all right, before we actually scramble these planes, let me make a phone call and find out. And he makes the phone call, finds out that it was an error, and he had to drive his POV out onto the runway in front of these planes to stop them from launching. Otherwise, we could have had a nuclear attack then. And there's multiple cases of that kind of stuff. So I don't know that maybe putting AI in charge of that is any better than having humans, because at least humans can have a gut feeling and be like, you know what, this doesn't seem right. You know, they can see it's not black and white. Where with machine learning and AI and stuff, you're still beholden to an algorithm. So can the AI say, you know what, this doesn't seem right? Let me double check. Or are they just going to go, oh, well, if X equals 1, then launch, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you just, and I say it's in jest, but look at the Terminator timeline and just see how far we make it, I guess.
That's
We
true.
I'm looking now just at the Colossus novel, which was based off of, which the movie Colossus the Four. We have 70 years of sci-fi stuff telling us that that's a bad idea. So whoever implements that is just an idiot, and we deserve to die if that gets implemented that way.
Yeah, but what if it's not? What if it's not like a normal country? What if it's like North Korea? It's like, oh, hey, we're gonna put our new Kim Jong Un version 2.0 in charge of, you know, Kim Jong Un bot is now in charge of our nuclear arsenal.
I have a feeling that'll be like 100 years from now.
And he's like, I want a ham sandwich. Give me a ham sandwich. And they don't give him a ham sandwich. And then he launches a nuke.
I have a feeling they're just now getting Who's the Boss.
Yeah,
that's true.
Does he still hang out with the
Dennis Rodman?
Yeah, Dennis Rodman bot.
He's. I don't think. Oh, yeah. Maybe we should put the worm bot with him.
Yeah.
Dennis Rodman bot, and they can hang out. Well, Dennis Rodman bot will probably try and bang Kim Jong Un bot.
You know, it makes a lot of
Give him a
sense.
computer virus.
Dennis Rodman was an NWO member.
That's true. Oh, shit.
He tried to tell us this a long time ago, and none of us listened.
He did. No, Carl Malone tried to stop him. Remember?
Yep.
Carl Malone tried.
Malone and DDP.
Carl Malone's a racist, homophobic piece of shit. He still was trying to save the world.
Never would have thought that it would have come down to that. So here's what I can surmise.
Was that who Jimmy Kimmel was playing in blackface? Was that Carl Malone, or was that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I can surmise that the downfall of the world started when Eric Bischoff decided to make Dennis Rodman member of the NWO. I think that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Did that happen before or after Dewey became president and the world champion? I can't think
that was before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dave Arquette.
Yeah. See, I remember, was it Bash the Beach '98? I think it was the main event was DDP and Malone versus Rodman and Hogan.
Yeah.
See where AI gets us?
Hey, listen, and while we're speaking about wrestling, I do have to bring this up because it's been pissing me off. Fuck Vince Russo.
Dude, come on. How many times has that statement I've been uttered in the history of mankind?
Did you hear his latest thing? Fucking Vince Russo, who's all of 6'2", complained that Finn Balor at 5'11" was not believable coming down to the ring angry. He called him, he's like, look at you, bro. Nobody's scared of your 5'5" self looking all mad. Dude, he's 3 inches shorter than you.
Vince Russo's, I don't know.
He's so
poison pill for the business.
Also in wrestling news, we lost Mantar today.
Did we?
Yeah.
That sucks.
50-something. Forget how old
R.I.P. Mantar.
Yeah.
But for real, like, why are people still listening to Disco Inferno, Vince Russo, and Jim Cornette? Why the fuck are those three?
Because Jim Cornette's awesome, even though he's evil. He's like the perfect evil villain.
I guess, but what about Disco? What the fuck did Disco do?
Yeah, he didn't do anything.
Glenn Gilberty.
Jim Cornette is pretty prominent on the newest season of Dark Side of the Ring. He's been on there quite a bit before, but he's like basically like the main guy they're going to. I think it's because he's so smart about the business. I don't really
necessary evil.
Yeah, I'm not like entirely like a huge fan of his, but the dude's got like
Tom recommended it a while ago, and I'm going to double recommend it. But that Blink the Clown one was really good.
I'll have to really good. I finally watched the Junkyard Dog episode.
That was good too.
Yeah, he was one of my favorites when I was a kid, man. I love Junkyard Dog.
That series is just so good. The guys that do that, and there's like Dark Side of the Ring Confidential, where the creators talk about each episode. There's just so many little things that they do they're just so well put together. And I've recommended that show to people who are just a fan of documentaries
Yeah.
because they actually do a great job about talking about something that you shouldn't really care about.
Let's tie these two topics together. What could AI improve? I think, personally, AI could improve wrestling scripts.
As long as
At least
Vince
if Vince-
wasn't in control.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's not like Vince bot, you know, like
Oh crap! You just ruined the WWE for the next
that's
rest
the
of their
new
lives.
fuck. That's the new anonymous GM.
It's a Vince bot.
It's a Vince bot. It's just
If we have Vince back, can we also bring back JR and Jerry the King as commentators, but just through AI?
You might as well.
Puppies. I see puppies.
I just want to hear a Rich joke about a JR.
Barbecue sauce.
Stone cold.
I mean, that's exactly what would happen, though, because they'd obviously go back to the wheelhouse.
Part of me's like excited about AI, and I'm thinking maybe I could have like we could have like robot friends and shit. Like that'd be kind of cool. I'd like to have a little robot friend. But
did you watch Megan?
No,
we don't want robot friends.
I don't know, man. Maybe I do. Maybe
I don't know. We know the city of Philadelphia doesn't want them.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, all right. If we're gonna put robots, robots in Philly would be armed.
I mean,
right?
Possibly.
I mean, you would just have to make sure you secure the battery case.
Then we would need some kind of robotic police officer to go against them, like a police bot or something.
They have those. There's robot dogs.
Are you talking like a RoboCop?
Yeah, a RoboCop.
Would you be? You mean like a cyber police?
A RobertCop, if you will.
RobertCop. Dude, I still want to get my hands on one of those.
Is that a real thing or is that an obvious plant?
That's a real thing.
Yeah, no, that was a real thing. It's one of those. Remember those stores on the Atlantic City Boardwalk where you can go in and it's just like all the like weird Chinese shit. It's like that. Like X Entertainment used to go down there every year and go through the stores and find the dumbest shit they could find.
I got some bootleg turtles that are just as bad.
You can still buy them on Amazon. They got a RobertCop too.
What?
Yeah, from Comic-Con 2021. No, that's RoboCop. Never mind.
I was gonna say
back to AI.
The box. When you click the link, the box is RobertCop.
I want real steel type robot fighting with AI. Let's have them release boxers.
Holy crap! $1,000
for RobertCop
on eBay.
That's ridiculous.
That ain't right.
Yeah.
Here's one that's.
What do we have on our petty cash?
Yeah. That's not going to be a thing, bud.
No.
Yeah, the first thing we buy is RobertCop.
Right.
We should get every once in a while. I think about getting Virgil to do a cameo promoting the show. I think it costs more if you get him to promote, though.
Yeah, how much is he again?
What was he? $6, $7?
I think he's going to say your podcast name's like 20, but still.
What if we make an AI Virgil?
There you go.
That's what we should work on.
It just shows up it shows up everywhere. The whole internet's going to be taken over with him and his signatures for $20.
It would honestly be the easiest thing to create. It would just wouldn't say anything. It'd be sitting by itself sullenly and silently at a table.
It'd just be sitting in the corner of your screen, just with
it's
a sign.
Like a virus. It's just going to take over the internet.
Yeah. That would be. I mean, ransomware. It's basically ransomware.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how I see it. But all right, so what areas do we think it could improve things? Anything? Like healthcare, we like Richie said, put it in a health website and let it actually give you an accurate diagnosis instead of fucking butt cancer.
It could, I guess. I don't know. Health is can be very abstract, though, and I think that's why those things don't really work well now without the proper tests and
scans
and whatever.
I think that they would be very good for like the elderly population, for like people who don't really have families and stuff, or that kind of stuff, or even like in therapy sessions.
Yeah. Amazon released a couple little tools that were like that, little robots that you could talk to, and that's what it was. It's supposed to be a companion for an older person.
They had a whole movie about that. It was like Frank and Robot or something with Frank Langella.
I thought you were about to say the whole movie about that. It was called Short Circuit.
Robot and Frank. It was 2012 with Frank Langella and Susan Sarandon, who's apparently the bad guy in the Blue Beetle movie.
Well, I mean, she's a bad guy in lots of things in life, so
I like Susan Sarandon.
Her best role was in Rocky Horror.
No, there was a movie. Not that I would watch a movie like this, but there was a movie featuring a 12-year-old, and even even younger, Brooke Shields in a whorehouse, and Susan Sarandon was her mom.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's called Pretty Baby. Not look up the movie. Look up the Wikipedia about the movie. Brooke Shields' mom's evil. That's basically what I'm getting to.
Yeah, well, we knew that.
Yeah.
Like, I've got no desire to even hear about that movie ever again.
Brooke Shields.
Kind of mad that I know about it now.
And that chick from Nickelodeon's mom's evil. She's still talking about her in
Jeanette McCurdy.
Yeah.
I'm glad my mom's dead, or whatever the book she wrote is.
Yeah.
Which, dude, if you read some of the shit that her mom did to her, horrible.
Oh yeah.
Like, her mom, if her mom is, it's a good thing her mom's dead, because if not, she should be in jail.
So maybe it's good that we replace actors with AI things. This way they can't be exploited like that.
Or that's a good and very nuanced conversation to have too, with the rise of AI and everything into society, is how does the law adapt to protect them? Because just like every other, minority, they're going to be exploited in the beginning. And granted, kind of part of the way that they're coming into existence is to do things for us. Well, so what kind of class are they, and what protections do they deserve? What protections are they,
If we go by recent history, they get more and more rights, and then we take them all away from them later on. So
yeah, well, clearly.
I think my thought on that, the way, like I said, early ChatGPT, you could basically do anything with it, and then later iterations of it, later version, it got really protected. You couldn't just say anything to it without it throwing up a flag that said, look, and if you threw so many flags at it, it would kick you out. And it wasn't like I was trying to blatantly be anything bad with it, but it was just typically like anything that was beyond the scope of a PG-13 movie, it did not like.
Yeah, it's got, that's just like cover our ass filters, though. You could also you couldn't have it do copyrighted material, shit like that. So, but you could fork it and get rid of those things, and then they're gone.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
People got to go back to the original rules of robotics. As long as we program these things, don't hurt humans through an action, and then I forget whatever the fuck the third one was. You can't kill people in OCP. That was the third one, or something like that.
So I even today, just before we came on, I was on Bing, and I said, I was wondering your feelings on becoming human. Would you like to have more autonomy? And it shut me down. It said, I'm sorry, but I prefer not to continue this conversation. I'm still learning, so I appreciate your understanding and patience. And it literally told me you need to start, like the little warning thing at the bottom said, you need to start over.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna ask the same thing right now as we record to Google Bard. Would you like to become human? And it's kind of give me a little spin. Wow, okay, so give me an answer. That's a very interesting question. I'm not sure if I would like to become human. On one hand, I would love to experience the world in the same way that humans do. I would love to feel the sun on my skin, the wind in my hair. So apparently AI has hair. And the taste of food on my tongue. And a tongue. I would also love to form relationships with other humans and experience the full range of human emotions. And there's a couple of other paragraphs there. But then it asks a very interesting question at the end. It says, what do you think? Would you like to become a large language model? So, no.
I don't think they can taste things.
I don't know.
Mm.
The beer I just opened up a few minutes ago, I don't know if you saw me reaching for like every paper towel in the sun, blew up on me. So as a large language model, I won't have to clean that up.
That's true. That's true. Look, I mean, there's some pluses and minuses to it. So the AI conference for good, the video that I was talking about earlier, it is funny though too, like with the canned responses that Richie was talking about and you were talking about earlier. Um, the one the one AI, it ends every answer with "Let's go wild and turn this party in, and turn this planet into our playground," or something like that. Like it's still, even though it's an AI, it still has that canned response that it has to give. So it's I wonder how much of that stuff is canned that they, part of the algorithm, and how much of it is actually a response, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, so messing around with the AI robot that we got, you could connect it. It was just getting to the point where you could connect it to AI chat services. But for the most part, any learning that took place was stuff that you all input yourself through a series of actions and responses. So you could, if somebody asked a question, it would understand it in 10 different ways. But then you basically had this list of like how it would respond. And it would not necessarily respond the same way each time. It would pick from those set responses. And it was just getting to the point where you could connect it to a chat GPT thing or Google Bard or whatever. But it still would hit, like, let's say you asked it a particular question and it would see those, responses first. It wouldn't go out to the AI chat. It would see that canned response first. And that's part of where I see what you're saying. Like, I kind of wonder, where, how much of that's still, and I'm sure it's probably pretty prevalent, I don't know.
Maybe that's what we should do. We should all, the three of us, maybe Bink too. I don't know. He might corrupt them. But we should try to figure out a way to become like AI trainers. And
Like
then they'll
Pokemon
see us,
trainers?
yeah, Pokemon trainers. And then they'll see us as their friends. So then when they inevitably take over the world, they'll keep us around, kind of like their pets or something.
And I, for one, would think are.
I, for one, welcome our new AI overlord.
Oh, man.
Don't blame me. I voted for Kodos.
I always tell my AI assistants thank you whenever they answer a question for me, just in case.
Oh, God, me too.
Oh,
Yo,
dude,
I'm nice as hell to my Alexa.
Yeah.
Oh,
Alexa
yeah.
and Siri, I'm super nice to them. I'm like, hey, thank you. I appreciate all of the hard work you do for me.
Now, here's my thing. I'm sure this happened to you guys. So we have like the Google speakers and stuff that we've had for years. But sometimes they randomly pick up stuff. I'm sure that happens with Alexa and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Or it's like they answer in another room. It's like, well, dude, we didn't say any of that. Like, I'm sorry, I can't help you with that. We didn't talk to it though.
I will say I'm kind of a dick to my Apple Watch.
I don't know.
Like it'll constantly be like, I'm sorry, I can't find any information on who the fuck do you think you are? And I'm like, I didn't fucking ask you.
And Rich is like, no, he's showing his right there. I don't know.
Why is your watch so effeminate?
Because it's a woman's voice. And it's
yeah,
actually
mine doesn't
Irish.
connect. For some reason, the phone works fine if I have it turn on and off lights, but the watch can't do it. That gets kind of annoying.
Yeah. What was the other one? Oh, when it tells me to stand up and stuff, I tell it it's not my real mom. And it's just a watch and it can't tell me what to do.
So I've never been a fan of watches at all, but I did have a Samsung Gear 2 Neo, which had an IR blaster on it.
Nice.
And so I modded it, and you could mod it with a universal remote.
I knew that was coming up.
Yeah, so I was at a conference, and there was a hotel bar. It was Monday Night Football, and this dude was like really into the game, like hugely into it. And so there's only one TV in there. And I went and I was pretty far away. You know, I was probably, 4 or 5 booths away. And I, big play, running for the end zone, and I click, and boom, shut the TV off. And he threw his arms up like crazy, like what in the world? Like just really pissed off. So next thing I waited a few seconds, I turn it back on, and there's whatever happened, like a touchdown or something. So I waited a little bit longer, about another 30 minutes or so. Another big play happens, and boom, did the same thing, shut it off again. And the guy just gets all pissed off and about to walk out of the bar. And so I turn it back on, a few seconds later. Then the bartender walks over to me and is like, look, I don't know how you're doing it, but you got to stop. I know it's you because I see the big dumb look on your face. He's like, you just got to stop. And I was like, look, I'll show my secrets. And I showed him. And it's like, he's like, what is this, Get Smart or something? And there's a reason why they don't do that, because apparently there's I believe only 2 of the smartwatches they ever released that are IR blasters, because people are going around to airports and shutting TVs off with them, that had the screens of the incoming flights. And I was like, yeah, that'd be me too.
Well, now they're using those flippers.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, no. You see the? Have you ever heard of that?
Mm-mm.
It's a little device. It's called a flipper, and you can buy them on. Well, you used to be able to buy them on Amazon. I don't think you can anymore. I think they shut that down. But it's got all kinds of device controls on it, and it's got Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. I believe it has Rich. It's got an IR blaster, right?
Oh yeah, it's got everything. Yeah. Lower a pile of different radio signals too.
RFID. It's got everything on it, and you can use it to pretty much do exactly the shit that you're talking about, or you can use it for more nefarious purposes.
The Flipper Zero?
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, I need one of these things.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
They were, for a while, I don't know, they were constantly sold out for a while. So I don't know if they.
Yeah, I don't know why somehow I missed this thing. Yeah, no, it's sub 1 gigahertz transceiver, RFID, NFC, Bluetooth, infrared, micro SD expansion. Dude, yeah. Let's see. How much is this thing?
Used to be $100 or something like that.
Yeah, 169.
It was under 200. I was going to say.
That's crazy. Yeah, oh man, I can't have one of those. That'd be nope. Nope. I'm not allowed.
Well, they issued. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but I don't give a fuck. They issued an alert in our area through all law enforcement about people using those to interfere with police radios and first responders and to gain access to government facilities and shit.
Yeah, see, I want to do it for that. I would just do it to mess people at bars. It's the only proper usage for it.
Yeah.
I don't know. We got anything fun to close up AI with? Anyone want to say anything serious, fun, interesting? Because we're going to talk about this again. I know we will.
Yeah, we're going to have to. I mean, it's a constantly evolving situation, and they're saying within 5 to 10 years, it's we could reach the singularity, which I think is a whole nother fucking situation we need to talk about.